beast from before it being ridiculously defender-sided. Once the demolition crew from Riot Games was able to break down some of those walls in the middle, it allowed the attack to have a little bit more space. And so that doesn't mean that they're out of the woods quite yet. It's still the defense to have a great time holding off the attack, and we're seeing that here to be the case as a couple of shots will ring true, but it's Randy Savage that takes one down to kick off the round.
Yeah, they went in, they created a bunch of ruckus, a cacophony outside of B, and then they pulled right back out. It looks like now they want to push up mid. Shazam rotating in from heaven. He's going to be the first line of defense if this continues, and now if you're Renegades, you can either push into sewers or you can make your way north. But there's a gunfight that's about to go down. Shazam gets the best of Winsome. Dapper does as well. Both CP2 and Randy Savage. He's going to drop. That's going to leave Renegades in dire straits, a 4v2.
Yeah, something a little bit more different than what we saw in the previous... Oh, hold that thought. Nerfed. He's keeping still the possibility of a round win here for the side of the Renegades. It's the 2v3, and a couple of members of the Sentinels are dangerously low, and so they will start to fall like flies. It's just up to Dapper, and as he walks through the smoke, that's going to be one planting and takes him down. Now it's the 1v1, backs away, and is waiting for that replant from Nerfed. But Nerfed got other things in store. I like this play from Dapper. It seems to be like the correct call. Get up into heaven, get some high ground, and Nerfed, I don't think he is aware. Oh, just missed him. The timing is unfortunate, but now Nerfed, unfortunately, tries to use the paranoia, and it's a great round from Dapper. Even gets a tripwire back. Man, that is real friendly.
Pinching pennies. But when it's early on, yeah, save every cent you can. He's going to be able to pocket that and go on about his way. Dapper with a nice opening round here. They're going to have guns. You expect them to go up 2-0 here over Renegades. And I say that, but the last time, I believe it was the second half of the previous map, where they busted that prediction, they busted that trend, and it was Renegades who lost the pistol round and managed to win the subsequent one.
Yeah. So what that tells us is that just because one team wins the pistol does not mean that the other team is out of the woods at all whatsoever. So early pick from Shazam tells us it's still going to be a difficult one. As he finds 2, they'll find 3 on the round. Yeah, this is at this point going to be very difficult for the Renegades to push forward. A flawless round for the Sentinels, and off the back of a player like Shazam, who in the previous map we saw play Breach, and quite honestly plays Breach, I think, on varying maps here, but it's the Jet for him. Likely going to be using some of that operator, or maybe even a Judge to get up close and personal. And on the side of the Renegades, they've got a Jet of their own. It's CP2. We saw him on the Sova go up against Sinatra, who's playing the Raze now this time. So lots of different agent swaps all around, but I think it's just to favor the map and the condition that they're in.
Oh, Sinatra going in aggressive. He gets up top. He gets brought right back down. Randy Savage and Nerfed are able to get 2 apiece. 6 able to trade one out, but he's going to get flashed. Has to back off. Winsome goes aggressive, lands the sheriff shots, and they're down to 2 on the side of Sentinels. Renegades with an impressive good-on-good round.
Yeah, this is a difficult round to gauge for for Renegades. They win on sheriffs, and now there's, well, not win. There's still... the dust hasn't settled quite yet for the side of the Renegades. They still have to get that spike down. So far, the read is good. They have one clearing out the back of sight. Is, of course, Bergie making sure that no one is hiding in screens, and maybe even potentially up in heaven. So A site pretty clear for the taking, but they still don't want to hold that W key just quite yet. Still trying to keep things a little quiet. For the side of the Sentinels, that quiet has allowed them to get kind of up close and personal within the time range of that spike going down. So they'll hear it go down, and Shazam's like already here. So let's see how the attack deal with this.
Yeah, they don't have the numbers. This is not an easy retake, but it looks like they're committing to it anyway. You've got Zoms up top. You got Shazam down low. Looks like Shazam has been spotted first. Zoms is going to play this a little bit aggressively. He's going to get a chance at Winsome just on the other side of that wall. He also spots CP2, isn't able to connect enough shots to take a kill down quite yet, but the clock is ticking. They're going to have to bust a move here pretty soon. Zoms is able to get 1. Shazam's not able to clean it up, but Zoms onto CP2, and they're making this interesting. Zoms with the last one. That's going to leave 1 on the side of Renegades. Holy freaking A, I can't believe they're doing it. They did it in the freaking 4v2. They managed to get the site back. They defused the spike. What a play.
Yeah, that was crazy from the side of the Sentinels. Just... you know, in that scenario, even if you're Renegades, I theoretically think you could set up some pretty neat crossfires on that A site, but I think they took so long to get that spike down. Like, once Bergie was able to clear the site, you're on an eco. Just take the damn risk and push forward and get that spike down. If they had gotten it sooner, they would have been able to set up more crossfires to benefit them, and in the long run, maybe even ended up down to the 2v2, or sorry, to the 2v0 or the 1v0. Yeah, so now moving forward, Sentinels, they got the 3-0 start. And for the Renegades, they will have weapons online, so we'll see how they do.
Careful now.
A much slower look here out of Renegades. We've seen them invest heavy B, we've seen them invest heavy A, but this is just a much more methodical play. They're still going to send 4 up mid, but the spike, as you see on the minimap, folks, is right outside of A. But even with that in mind, they haven't been met with very much resistance at all. You see him just huddled up right outside the middle of the map. It doesn't seem like Sentinels has any idea where they are.
I mean, at the moment, they're just gathering a little bit more information. And this is the call from the Sentinels to pull 4 members off of that A side. But I mean, they were already in rotation, predicting that it might be the play here. They lost a lot of control of Heaven, so as a result, they need to compensate. A couple of frags already going their way, but it's trade after trade. Now down to 2 that remain, and unfortunately CP2 finds himself in a Jet v Jet battle. Shazam wins the duel with the Sheriff. Now Nerf trying to get that spray transfer up into Heaven, but it's Shazam with the op that finds 3 on the round. A couple of English breakfast taps on Nerfed, and it's the 4-0 start here for the Sentinels.
Simo, I feel like we're friends, so as friends, I need to confess something to you.
Yep.
When I first heard you say English breakfast, it wasn't on this broadcast. It was a couple broadcasts ago.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie to you, my man. I was really confused. Like, what the heck is he talking about? English? Oh, a teabag, of course. But I had to admit that I don't think I could sleep if I continue to keep that on my conscience. But all of that aside, Sentinels up very comfortably over Renegades. And it seems like they're just going to continue. Sicked, taking care of Nerf, the spike not making a committed play quite yet. And this has been all Sentinels for the last 4 rounds.
Yeah, that would be the case, and it's already starting off the pick onto CP2. But look behind, it's Winsome. He flanked up through the middle. It's a quick trade from Sinatra, but still it's Sheriffs. And not much can be done for the Renegades. So 5-0 start for the Sentinels. We are entering into yet another gun round, yet another opportunity for the Renegades to continue their flow, continue their opportunity to take rounds off of the Sentinels. And to be quite honest, it was really after that 6th, 7th round on Ascent that Renegades really started to come online. And so maybe that's the case here. Maybe they're just warming up on a map like Split. Like I've seen this from teams before where they just don't really feel quite comfortable yet, and they warm up to their opposition. What if that's the case for the Renegades? What if they just start popping off and we see a 6-6 half like that? That would be crazy, right? So we'll see what ends up happening here for the Renegades.
Yeah, a long way from that potentially here, and that opening frag certainly isn't going to help their cause. Sick taking care of Winsome here, and it seems like every single time it's Sentinels who are drawing first blood. It's Sentinels who are getting that early pick, and Renegades they just haven't been able to regain.
You know, despite Tens having a pretty high FBR, first bloods per round, probably the highest in an A, I would argue that if you look at the stats, you'd find yourself seeing that Sentinels have some pretty high first bloods per round. I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but I would probably argue that you are in fact correct. But across the NA, the entire NA landscape, you probably find that Sentinels on average have all of them, right? Like probably the highest of an entire team. So not looking so good this round though for the Sentinels. Early picks from the side of Renegades, they'll find themselves in a great position to at least maybe even win the round. They've already flooded towards that B site. Neural Theft gives them some intel on the defensive side. Dapper trying to spray through the wooden beams there, but does not find anyone.
The spike is going to be planted. Bergie's going to be able to do so with very little contest. And Zoms is able to get one to tie it up here at a 2v2. Randy Savage goes down. Zoms looking to TP his way around, get a little bit better positioning. Bergie tries it up. He gets a third, and they're going to win the round. What a play out of Renegades.
5-1. Renegades, they're able to keep things cooking. And cooking, they will continue to keep things. As the Sentinels, they've got economy to buy. Of course, all good in that department. But for the Renegades, like I said, the 6th round, it's around that time where the Renegades really start to come online. I mean, I guess, I understand it's a defender-sided map. I get it. But we saw in that previous map that they were able to keep things close against the Sentinels, despite Sentinels having a side advantage. So we'll see how Renegades will continue to lay some rounds on, or if the Sentinels will just shut them out. You know, looking at the ult economy this round, 4 ultimates for the Sentinels, including the res, can be quite scary. So we'll see how the Renegades deal with it.
Oh boy, Sinatra getting just close enough to make things feel uncomfortable, but back off. He did spot Sick there. Sick trying to get up around. He's gonna have to heal himself from cooking, and Nerf is able to get the frag as he runs away just over the wall. That's been put up. Now we're going to see the showstopper. He's going to blast his way up, blast his way in, and not land the kill. We also hear the run it back used as well. And Winsome, well, you hurried up just to stop.
Run it back, of course, by Winsome. Will not find much more than that. Inside of the Sentinels. Early look Zombs, though. A face full of lead, and it's the headshot that sends him packing. This will give an opportunity for the Renegades, still 5 strong, to maybe open up this A site. But we've seen how the Sentinels can lay on 1, can lay on 2. Like, some of these players on this team have a pretty big handful of multi kills on their belt. I wish that was a stat that we could track and see how much they've actually put together, because I would argue that Dapper probably has the most of the team. We saw it even on Ascent, how many frags he was able to lay on. So early looks, it's still the attack. They're trying to push forward a series of trades that are already going to go underway. Dapper up above, going to find one more. That's already 2, like I said. He's the multi-kill master. Now it's down to the 2v2. Make it the 1v2. It's just down to Nerf. Aerial goes Shazam, but the knives, they won't connect. And now it's just down to Dapper. Planting behind the map. He may get sprayed here in just a second, but Dapper, he's got the patience.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, my goodness. Will he still be able to find Nerf? No, but now they're going to play Ring Around the Rosie around the pillar. And does he know this? Yes, he does. It's the classic. And even Dapper's like, what the hell? Nods a quick no, and that's another round here for the Sentinels.
You called him the multi-kill master, and you might have to get that thing coined and patented, because he does it again. That was 3 kills that round. He's able to get the defuse as well. Sentinels continues to cruise. Renegades, for a moment, showed us a semblance of hope, right? It looked like they were going to be able to put something together there, but as soon as they seemed to get some sort of momentum, as soon as they seemed to get something going, Sentinels just shuts the door in their face.
And really, to me, you know, the Sentinels are a team that we come in here and we expect them to win. But I would argue that we expected them to win a little bit more convincingly over the Renegades. Like, this is a team that I am now impressed with, happy to see competing in the Valorant space. And that means that future tournaments have more competition. Right? You've got a team like Renegades that are the underdog. And they have a lot of bite, as we were seeing here, looking to try to take things over towards the Sentinels.
Oh,
Dapper
boy.
in a difficult spot, avoids the flash and catches CP2 looking in the wrong direction. Neural Theft will catch him out. Still a couple more shots that are needed from Dapper, as now the hot hands will push him out of that corner. And now Nerf, the last one with weaponry. It's going to be tough.
Dapper's freaking unbelievable, but Nerfed is going to take care of Zombs and help his cause. A little omen on omen goes in favor of Renegades here. Sick tries to go up, decides that she wants to push it, and drops right back down wisely. Shazam, however, is able to take care of Nerfed. Sentinels win another round, and we're at the cusp of talking about like a 9-3 here. I mean, this can get out of hand very fast.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you could even make the case for an 11-1. But knowing how the Renegades have kept things within distance against the Sentinels, I think 9-3 is probably the best guess. But I wouldn't be surprised with a 10-2. Talking about how that affects the rounds to come in the second half, that pistol means way more to the Renegades than it does for the Sentinels. Of course, the economy will still bounce back for whoever loses, but how much of a round buffer do you have in case things really start to fall and you end up losing 2-0, right? So early picks from both teams. Now we're down to the 4v4.
Yeah, the neutral theft has been used. Sick is going to be able to pull back Sinatra and take CP2 on the way out. A little bit of having his cake and eating it too. Dapper on the flank though is able to get one, gets two, gets three. That's 4 kills for him in that round. It was an eco round, but it was still pretty to look at. Sentinels in firm control.
Yeah, 8-1. It's not looking so good. Having a quick look at some of these replays. Thank you to our observers, Yeti and Impulse, for putting this together. Dapper, you know, I think I may need to get that trademarked, copyrighted, whatever the case is. I need to get Dapper the multi-kill master. That feels like one of those Game of Thrones things, you know, like son of many fathers. You know,
Well, it just rolls off the tongue.
King of Dragons.
Yeah.
You know, he got all the titles.
Yeah. No, it's just easy. It flows. That's how you know you're onto something. CP2's onto something. As he welcomes Sinatra with a nice big op shot to the face. The spike, excuse me, around the middle of the map here. They haven't committed a ton except for Randy Savage, who's making his way up. Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah, taking care of Dapper.
Yeah, now that's the man advantage for the Renegades. It's the 5v3, guns online, of course, for the attack, and this really bodes to our dream of a 9-3 half for the Sentinels and really for the Renegades. They don't want to, I mean, you obviously don't want an 11-1. However, how many rounds, Doug, have we seen where Sentinels really turn things around as in relation to something that definitely should have been Renegades' map to win? Now it's down to the 2v4. You've got Shazam with the op, who's already looking towards a great angle and doesn't give him a lot of space to work with. Zom's gonna pinch them from behind. They're grouped up here like cattle, trying to keep things alive. Shazam is gonna find 2. Now it's the 1v2. Zom's up above from heaven. The shot will be good from Winsome. A close round there, and it was close. Maybe too close for comfort for the Renegades, but that's the Sentinel style. They get scrappy, they get involved. And they get multi-kills. We saw Shazam there with 2. But now moving on to the next round. The economy's in a really strange place. I'd argue if the Sentinels win this, Renegades might not actually have enough to buy. So, we'll see what ends up happening. And if the Renegades are able to continue this momentum, 8-4 would be a great finish. But we're going to have to see that out of them first.
That is a tough order, a tall order, but it's what they need, really.
Yeah.
You see another slow start out of Renegades, and Simo, I think we discussed a 9-3 was probably the most likely outcome here. But maybe even a 10-2 going into halftime. Renegades has just not been able to get anything going on the attacking side of the map.
To be quite honest, like you could predict that. If you're a betting man, you bet Sentinels have a round lead in the second half, you know. But the question becomes how close. You know, if this was TSM in Renegades' shoes, is this 7-5? Is this 6-6? I think Split still has this element where it's just too difficult for the attack to push forward. I mean, it's better since the map changes. But as we now see the Renegades, they prepare. They get a lot of information as they push in through mid. They'll find Pix here as well. Winsome and Randy Savage teaming up together to find everything that they need. And now it's just down to 2 for the Sentinels. A very important round for the Renegades to win. This, if they do not, they potentially fork up 10-2. And they don't want that. They want a good, nice cushion moving on to that second round. So Zoms drops down. I think they hear that drop. They have to be a little bit more careful. Shazam providing that firepower from above. But unfortunately looked in the wrong direction. Now it's just down to Zams. That's going to be 1. And unfortunately, when you swing together, you win together. The Renegades win yet another round.
And, you know, maybe that 8-4 that you mentioned, well, it's certainly still in the cards, right?
Yeah.
But it's certainly not going to be easy. They do help themselves a ton there by winning that as far as the financial implications go. So they've set themselves up. They've done what they needed to do to allow themselves a position to even have the conversation.
Yes.
But it's going to take more than just that. Look at how heavily they're stacking over onto A site. There's nobody watching ramp, so they're going to be able to walk through. Oh my gosh, they're almost going to be able to get fully onto the site, entirely uncontested. You see the Sova's going to be peeking up in heaven. Winsome decides to go low. He's going to spot one. Sick,
Wow,
however,
sick.
stops the push in his tracks.
Get out of my way.
I mean, that was a great run it back, but at what cost? So many members were not even able to get that spike down. I mean, they'll regroup. They've got the spike in hand, but now the defense is here. You have to worry about how are you going to sleep at night when the defense are here. They're looking to poke and prod their way through. The boom bot will clean up what it wants to clean up. And now, unfortunate crossfire. That's the first pick here from Winsome. That's a great start, but still have a lot more to go. That's another onto Sinatra. And now Winsome looking to heal up, reloads the clip. Now it's the man advantage. And now it's just down to Sick. I mean, he started the play, making it difficult for Renegades to plant. But great looks here from the Renegades gives us an 8-4.5, and now they move on to the defender side, where they should theoretically have more rounds to work with. Sick finds these early picks, but it's Winsome in this great replay, slowed down, finds himself some great kills.
Yeah, Winsome played that super, super well. But Simo, look, going into halftime, seeing what Sentinels has showed us, which is a very impressive first half on the CT side, I need your thoughts here. What are you predicting for the second half? Do you feel good about Renegade's chances to claw back into this? What do you got? Talk to me.
So it all stems on how comfortable the Sentinels feel on the attack. And to be quite honest, anyone that has a scrappy style can have a good time on the attack, right? We see that from the Sentinels time and time again. If they're on the defense, they still push up. They still try to get involved if they can, right? And we even saw that on Ascent, where they would take certain opportunities to have some pretty aggressive looks towards the middle. But as we are now seeing their preparation towards the B site, it is Renegades that kind of got caught off guard with this push. Of course, it is just a pistol, but that spikes down, and now they're forced into retake with a wall cutting off the connection from spawn. Winsome, fortunately for himself, will find Dapper, and now here comes the retake that Renegades have been dreading to find.
Yeah, Sinatra able to take care of Randy Savage there. The spike is ticking. However, and they're going to have to bust a move here pretty soon. Now you see him flood onto the site. Winsome to entry. He's going to tag, but not get any kills. Sick gets the best of Winsome. CP2 trades it back out. The spike is still ticking. You see Nerf dropping back down. He's able to land the kill, an ever-important kill, but Sinatra looking to even things up here.
Yeah, just down to Nerf, though, and he finds himself a great pick onto Sinatra, but still needs to get to defuse. That spike is ticking, and Sick is just making it more difficult. Actually wins the gun duel, too, but he's going to pay with his life. But, like we said, that early plant, and then Renegades, while crafty in the retake, still were not able to come out with the victory there, and that'll give Sentinels a great start to the second half. That potentially we see 10-4 now. If the Renegades force up enough and they win that round, we could see 11-4. A lot of rough repercussions ahead, but it does look like Renegades are just going to stick to the pistol, stick to what they know best. You know, possibly give Sentinels the round lead here. There's still a possibility that those ghosts are able to do some damage, but it's not looking good here on the start.
Ooh, CP2 getting a good chunk of damage out, and yeah, the heal's gonna help, but it's not gonna help for long as he gets taken out. Sinatra and Zoms seem to pick Renegades apart. Shazam wants a little bit of the action as well. Renegades in shambles.
Kind of anticipated that going into the pistol round here. Nerfed, though, while not normally, I'm out of here. But he's playing to his strengths. He's got a shorty, he wants to be able to use it. Unfortunately, he will not be using it this round. Zoms will spray him down with the Spectre. 10-4, of course, the start. And now with the gun round, this is where we expect Renegades to bring things really close. Like, this is where the gun round leads to 6-10, 8-10. Like, this is where they close the gap, because once they have this momentum going in their favor, it's going to be difficult for the Sentinels to gauge a good enough pulse to say, okay, crap, they're catching up. We need to do something quick. They start sweating. And we saw Renegades make them sweat on Ascent. So let's see if they can do that here in the first gun round of the second half.
Yeah, I think you're hitting the nail on the head here, Simo. An ever-important round. They saw Shazam dash through, and they also saw the Raze make her way through as well. See, Randy Savage is about to have his hands full as there are 3 members now who have made their way up into heaven. He's going to try to bide some time. Stays alive just for now, but just on the other side of the smoke. Yep, he's going to get eyes onto one and tries to dodge back out, excuse me, but Bergie gets 2 to keep things at bay.
This is a great round for the Renegades. They needed this, to be quite honest, but it was quite telegraphed that they would get it. The weaponry not really favoring the Sentinels. They can still do some damage here, and that's what they might look to do. But
yikes.
When stuff like that happens, when Randy Savage takes him to the ring, throws him in a corner, gives him a good old body slam, there's not much that you can do. Having a quick look at that replay of how he positioned himself just in the smoke, and then 2 more to follow. Yeah, so Sentinels, I don't really know what their economy looks like. They're just going to force up and reset their own economy because it's that 3rd round where they'll be quite close to the defense. They'll have 2,900 flowing through. But if they can really make this work, I'd be very surprised. So we'll see what ends up happening. It's a mixed bag from Stingers to Operators. Let's see what the Sentinels are capable of. Yeah, and the ghost in between. Let's see what they're capable of.
Wall has gone up across mid. The Spike cheating his way over onto B. It's so tough to get onto that site if you don't have Heaven control. And that's certainly going to be impeded for now. Anyway, the wall has been shot through. You hear Showstopper has been used. Sinatra pushing forward. Does have a blast pack to propel himself also if he wants to. Oh, but he's going to go low. He doesn't even get a chance to fire it. CP2 takes him out in midair.
Yeah, I think. Oh! Shazam with the collab, baby! That's what I'm talking about. They line up, and he knocks him down like dominoes. Still a couple more that are ready. Spike goes down. There is only 1 player left. It is Randy Savage. Sick finds himself at the mercy of the Cypher player, but takes him out with the Ghost. What a round from the Sentinels. Clip it, ship it, send it to Reddit. Shazam with the beautiful collat on the round.
Man, and that might be the straw that breaks the camel's back, right? Like, not only is that big from a financial perspective for Renegades, but the mental implications of that too. That can be so demoralizing when you feel like you've got a decent setup to get onto the site, or excuse me, to hold off a site. For them to be able to do that so effortlessly can be a difficult pill to swallow, but it's not all out. Well, okay, never mind. it might be all out.
Yeah, Shazam's just feeling himself. Nerf, though, in a very difficult position, has to prepare for this potential B push. Bergie, though, a great contact point for the mailroom, sends them packet. FedEx delivery for the Renegades. Of course, Shazam trying to catch the tailwind of that retreat, but comes up empty-handed. Only has 4 knives remaining. Nerfed, playing close into the left, below the ropes, and Shazam just clearing out as much as he can to give space for the rest of the attack to gather information. At this point, Sentinels, they're playing for picks. They find a pick, they act on it. But we see Nerfed. He's going to slowly make his way up. It's Sick that'll get the better of him, and that gives a lot of information to the attack. Res comes through, and it's bad news bears for the Renegades.
Yeah, the numbers advantage just gets worse. That's certainly going to help. Oh, a nice flick by Randy Savage onto Shazam. The ult's going to be used as well to expose everyone. You see the wall that's gone up, and the Spike is going to be playing it down, but Bergie has different plans. He's able to get 1, able to get 2. That's 4 kills this round. Looking for the ace onto Dapper. Dapper, do you have it in you to keep this at bay? It's a tough situation. He gets flashed. He gets tagged up. Winsome gets him. The Spike is going to be defused, and Renegades show signs of life.
Yeah, that's good. That's great. You know, that was one of those rounds where you give the Sentinels a pick, and they just run with it. They take a mile. They get that Spike down, but fortunately for them, Bergie really shows up when his team needed him, and did so in great fashion as well. As we see an early look at some of the economy numbers for the following round. Of course, the Sentinels not really in the greatest place, and so it'll be down to pistols for them. But if you think about the bigger picture, this gives some space for the Renegades to lay on some more rounds. The Sentinels, of course, have gone back and forth. And to be quite honest, that really hurts the economy for both teams. Like, if you look at the Renegades, they're not doing so hot either, but definitely a lot better than the Sentinels.
And we'll see here what kind of look Sentinels gives us.
Get out of my way.
It looks relatively delayed with the exception of the Jet. You hear her use the blades. Oh, excuse me, that may have been CP2. Yeah, that was CP2. He also has the op as well, although Shazam did dash through, so it's an aggressive push onto A, and it looks like they have control. They're going to try to get through from heaven. Winsome's able to take care of Dapper, though.
Of course, it is the pistols for the side of the Sentinels, so they're just looking for picks. They'll find one Shazam with the Judge. That's a good start, but how much more do you have left in you as the rest of the Renegades are starting to rotate towards that A site? Need to act quick if you want to get involved or pull back towards the B site. And they may just think to do that as they funnel back in towards the ropes, and they'll do so quietly, not really having their presence known. Unfortunately for Sick, I think he just misses that rope altogether. And so the Renegades, they'll be like, okay, I think these guys are going B. Nerfed clearing out a lot of space. And now with those shots on the tripwires, this will be a very difficult site for the Sentinels to take.
Yeah, but keep an eye on Nerfed. Yeah, he's going to have the angle. He's taking care of Zom. ZP2 takes care of Shazam as well. He gets cleaned up, and it's going to be a 3v1, but not for long. Renegades gets the last one as Bergie cleans up Sick, and they get their 7th round of the map.
Yeah, this is honestly a great look. This is a great look for the Renegades. They're keeping things close and in contention. This would be the round, though, that Sentinels take it to match point, right? Any gun round is an opportunity for the attack, but considering how difficult it can be on split, we'll see what they're capable of. They only have the Neural Theft available for their ultimate usage. Looking at some of the other ultimates, they're not available for quite some time. And we saw that Showstopper, how Sinatra was just denied it. I wonder what would have happened if he was able to keep it. And an early pick onto Dapper gives us a lot of information of how the rest of the round will continue. But the Sentinels, they play off picks. If they find one, if they find two, it gets really crazy for the Renegades.
And keep in mind, Renegades invested 2 ops there. The first one paying off at the hands of Randy Savage. But they're buying in, and I like this approach to how they keep, or at least attempt, to keep Sentinels, to keep the map in control. But once again, it's going to be a push to heaven. And just as they think about it, they're met with an ice wall that's going to impede or at least make them think twice about it. You see him drop into ropes. It looks like they're going to try to make a push out onto A. And the rotation isn't coming quite yet. They may be trying to pull out here. Randy Savage and Winsome just on the other side of the ropes. Sentinels playing this very slowly, very methodically. Oh no, they've been heard. Oh, they've been heard. It's like watching a train wreck happen. Winsome, however, manages to duck away, doesn't get a kill. Randy Savage gets one, and the chaos ensues up in heaven.
Shazam trying to get a different angle, but he's greeted with a wall there. Sick just in a great position, constantly moving around, but he's got the spike. He needs to get it down. A wall will separate the 2 defenders. It's just down to Randy, and Shazam wins the duel. Now it's the 2v2. Shazam's just way too quick for the Renegades. Spike, of course, now officially going down. Bergie and company need to deal with this. Resurrection onto Nerf gives the odds back into the favor of the defense, but they've got a res of their own. It's Dapper, and he's ready to frag against the Renegades.
The clock is ticking. Shazam with a crucial kill there. Not able to get the second one as Nerf evens things back out here at 2 apiece. As you hear the spike continue to tick away. Nerf with the 3rd one. That's going to leave Sick dead, and that's going to leave Dapper as the last one standing. The defuse had started. Dapper's going to have to make a move here, but he's walking through the slow, painful walk of the ice, and he's not going to get there in time. He's just going to try to stay alive, maybe get an exit frag. That's a big round for Renegades.
A lot of ultimates used as well, I believe. Okay, that was my mistake. I thought there was a Blade Storm at some point. It might have been CP2 that ended up using it, maybe in this round or the previous. But the point being, both Resurrections used, and that means for the rounds to come, that won't be something to talk about until they get those ult points back into their favor. And that might take some time. That might give a lot of space for the Renegades to say, okay, we don't have to worry. Excuse me, we don't have to worry about a potential 6th man. We don't have to worry about things going back into their favor. Let's just play how we play, and let's see what they end up working with.
Oh man, for Shazam dropping early, that's the last thing you want. Nerfed with a nice kill early on, but the onslaught that's coming into B is going to prove to be too much as Sinatra takes him out.
Yeah, this is a very weird round. Sinatra wins the duel with a Spectre. Now Neural Theft will give him a lot of information. They know that one's in the corner. It's CP2, but blindly lines it up. Dapper, though, with 3, puts it down to the 1v1. Randy Savage has to deal with his alter ego, and he's unfortunately, well, fortunately for him, Dapper's only got 11 HP, and now as he looks to make his way up the ropes. Randy, I think he snuffs this out. Shot's going to be good. That was close. That was very, very close. You know, we talk about these round wins from the Renegades. The Sentinels are, even on broken buys, keeping things within contention, making it expensive for the Renegades. And we're seeing every round they have to dip into their pockets, If Sentinels win one round, like you can say goodbye to that round lead. They'll just take the map.
Yeah, and as you see here, thank you to producers for keeping that scoreboard up for just a bit longer. You see that Sentinels is on a full buy here, and I mean, it's not like they have a ton of money in the bank after this round, but they are full buying, and this might be just the nudge, the push that they need to get over the edge here and put Renegades up against the ropes. But it's another slow look. The spike cheating over to B. But it hasn't been a hard commit here. They are not stacking. You hear the showstopper come out. Sinatra blasting his way through heaven, not spotting anyone quite yet, but he's going to get a chance there. It's going to land onto CP2. No op for you this time, buddy. He takes care of Nerfed as well. Realizes where one more player is. He's going to see if Gene can take care of things, but you don't need Gene when you've got a gun. That's 3 in a row for Sinatra.
Yep, he's looking for more. Finds himself winsome. It's 4 now on the round. Last player standing. It is going to be the Cypher. Oh, misses the shot, and Shazam! He steals the ace. Sinatra gonna feel that one. It's match point here now for the Sentinels as my voice is starting to lose its luster. Great frags here from Sinatra. Finds one, sees one around the corner. The paint shells zone off Bergie, and it's unfortunately the boom bot that'll also be his demise. Match point, looking at the economy, it's rough. There's an op, there's a sheriff. It's all across the board. So let's see if they're able to make ends meet here as the Sentinels. They've got their weapons online. They're feeling confident. This could be the last and final round.
Yeah, Randy having to go with a Guardian there because he couldn't afford a Phantom or a Vandal, which just kind of shows how dire things are. Really good flash there, but Sinatra and Shazam, excuse me, provide all the help that's needed to clean things up. CP2 with a rare miss on the op, and it's down to 2 members on the left of Renegades. Make that one. This might be it.
This is not looking good for the side of the Renegades. It's up to Randy Savage and does not look in the right direction. Ladies and gentlemen, a clear victor of Group D. It is the Sentinels that sweep 4-0. 2-0 in the map here against the Renegades. You know, it was close. And that, I think, is going to be the biggest talking point of the Renegades here. Coming into this tournament, I had a serious thought. Okay, I don't think that they are going to perform well. And they proved me wrong. I will admit that. Going up against a team like the Sentinels, really having a good showing. Looking at their match against Cloud9, it went all the way to map number 3. The map that they were able to win was split. And so you think about the repercussions of a win like that, how close they could have been up against the Sentinels. So a lot to discuss, a lot to unpack, but at the end of the day, Doug, I think you and I can confidently say the Renegades did a great job in this tournament.
Yeah, and I think this is not the last we see of them, right? They're going to continue to improve. If this is the base at which they start, this squad, this Renegades roster, is poised to really shock some people and bust some brackets later on in their life cycle. But again, falling a bit short here to Sentinels with a 2-0 loss.
Yeah, and to us, that still tells us that the Sentinels are very well in control. They know exactly what they're doing, and they have no intention of stopping anytime soon.